Sorry for those of you that were tuned in. We've had some technical challenges this morning, but we are live here in Steamboat Springs for the Rocky Central U16 Championships Giant Slalom Day today. Mia Lapuner is on course. Sophia Wenberg just leaving the start. Rapid intervals today. We apologize to those early racers who we missed. It's a two-run race today. We're going to catch them on the second run, so make sure you stay tuned in all day long as Mia Lapuner crosses the line. We've got Malie Dieterich in the lead right now, followed by Winter Phillips and Isabel Eriksson. Sophia Wenberg on course right now onto the lower section. Allison Mahalik has just left the starting gate. Mia Lapuner through in 14th with a 48.51. Here comes Wenberg to the finish. Wenberg across with a time of 48.19 into 13th. Two-run race today, so two-run combined time will determine the results. Racers looking to put down a good solid run here in run number one. And then see if they can step up in that second run. We're about halfway through the field right now. So these skiers, we run in reverse order for the second run. These skiers will be starting in the middle both races today. And then in the slalom, they'll have an early start and a late start. That was Mihalik through the finish from 4 degrees. She had a time of 48.42 into 15th. And now we watch Audrey Bazio on course. Audrey from Nubs Knob. Foss has left the starting gate up top. And we're watching Audrey Bazio from Nubs Knob Racing on the lower section of the course. Oh, getting pushed low right before the finish is Bazio. She's in her tuck now and through. Lily Foss on the upper section from Team Summit. Bazio through with a 50.58. Here comes Lily Foss from Team Summit. Carving some nice turns here on the lower pitch. This section very steep, and Lily gets pushed low. The soft snow is trouble for the racers if they let that line drift too low. On that section of the course, Margot Schaffler has left the start. Lily Foss in her tuck to the finish, and she's across. Margot Schaffler now through the beach section. She races for the Grand Traverse Ski Club past the coaches and onto the lower pitch. Foss through the finish with a 48.72, puts her in 19th. So Katie Miller has left the starting gate. Margot Schaffler down on the lower part of the course. Grand Traverse Racers through the finish as we look up the hill to Katie Miller now. Schaffler with a 49.90. Katie Miller from Buck Hill onto the lower pitch. Spray of snow with the blue, perfect Colorado blue skies today. Makes for some nice scenery, and down goes Miller. Just leaning inside. That was a tough break for the Buck Hill racer, and she's out. Claire Provencher, another Buck Hill racer on the upper part of the course. Claire pouring it on. Good speed across the beach section. Now Claire onto the lower pitch. This is the technical part. Can she really stand on it? Getting pushed a little bit low, but staying out of the soft chunder outside the line. So a good job for her. Got Kaya Ryder on course up above. And through the finish, Claire with a time of 46.31. I thought that looked fast, ladies and gentlemen. She skied her way into 4th position. Here comes Kaya Ryder from Team Summit. Madeline Zellmer has just left the starting gate. His Team Summit's Kaya Ryder. These final few turns. On all out. Trouble up early for Zellmer. She is a DNF. Kaya Ryder through the finish with a 48.53. Looks like we've got a hold on the course. Try to get some more things back up and running. Apologize for the challenges this morning. We had some serious challenges. Equipment left at Howelson Hill after the race that wasn't last night. With that team parallel, Mother Nature won out, but we're getting the spoils of a beautiful Colorado winter day here today. The sun out, and it's fantastic. So we're glad you're with us. We'll keep working to get things online as we go through this race today with these 30-second intervals. No time for us to be making adjustments, and we want to focus on being able to watch the kids do their thing and racing down the hill. So Claire Yeager on the lower part of the course. Alexandra Brislin has just left the start. Yeager inner tuck through the finish. Claire Yeager crossing as Alexandra Brislin makes her way over the breakover. Yeager with a time of 50.19. Caroline Christoph Brown has just left the starting gate. We're watching Alexandra Brislin from the 4 Degree ski team. Brislin doing her best to hustle through those final few gates, and she's across. Caroline Christoph Brown from the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club on the upper section, now coming into view over on the second pitch of All Out. This the steepest part of the hill. Caroline shaping those turns up above the gate. Good direction. Is she doing too much work? Brislin with a 50.24 just before Christoph Brown. But right now it's Christoph Brown to the finish line, and she'll stop the clock with a time of 46.76 into 6th position at the moment. Ella Timon now on course. Ella from the Granite Peak ski team. Aggressive skiing out of the start. Ella really getting after it, tight on the gates. Granite Peak racer. Really charging this all-out race hill. Onto the lower pitch comes Timon. Malie Dieterich, currently our leader. She's got about 3/4 of a second lead on our runner-up at the moment, Winter Phillips. Isabel Erickson in third. 2-run race today. A fast first run is only getting you halfway there. Ella Timon through with a 51.92. But it's a good way to start for sure as Alessandra Loro pushes out of the gate. The Team Summit racer now on course. Loro through the beach section and onto the lower pitch past the coaches at Coaches Knoll. Catherine Floyd has just left the starting gate up top. Loro. Team Summit racer across the line. At a time of 48.91. Right now it's Catherine Floyd, our bronze medalist in yesterday's Super Giant Slalom. She do it in the Giant Slalom. These are tight technical turns. More challenge on the technical side than we've seen in the prior 2 days that were more about speed and courage, bravery. Floyd through the finish. And Floyd, as Marlo Preventure makes her way across the beach section onto the lower pitch. Floyd with a time of 47.70 moves her into 14th spot. Preventure going down on her side, taking a long slide, tough break for Marlo. Sophie Kozicki now on the upper section of the course. Sophie races for the Loveland Ski Club. Kozicki comes into view down on the lower part of the course. Riley Thompson from Steamboat has just left the starting gate. Here comes Kozicki. Approaching the finish, final few turns, trying to keep the speed from off the pitch into the flats, where it flattens out right here is important. Kozicki in her tuck through the line as Riley Thompson now from the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club makes her way past the coaches onto the lower pitch. Kozicki with a time of 49.95. Riley Thompson trying to stay ahead of the course down here, but let the skis run at the same time. It's a big challenge. Stella Phillips has left the starting gate, getting her first crack at racing here in these Rocky Central U16 championships. Through the finish, that is Riley Thompson into 13th with a 47.53. Stella Phillips now on course. Stella hasn't been feeling great, did not compete in the downhill or the Super G. Hails from Whitefish, Montana. Really setting those turns up on the lower section. She crosses as Kalia lets Saladin already onto the lower pitch, hot on her tails. Phillips with a 53.78. Here comes Kalia Saladin from Aspen. Shea Reardon has left the starting gate as Saladin tries to beat the slipper. The slipper's not going around all the gates, so he's going to get DQ'd anyway. Saladin's going to win that battle any day of the week. Saladin through the finish, and she is our new leader. Kalea Saladin across with a... And I'll check that. We're going to have to do some work on our timing down there. So stand by on those results as Shea Reardon makes her way onto the lower part of the pitch. Give us time to catch up on some things down here at the bottom as Shea Reardon's across. We'll update you on Kalea's time and Shea's time as soon as we get those. I'm going to be on a brief course hold. I'm going to sign out for a second and try to get some things fixed here for your viewing pleasure. Thanks for tuning in here to these Rocky Central U16 championships. All right, well, we got some progress here as Amy Durner gets ready to go from the Loveland Ski Club, and Amy Durner is on course. Durner having an exciting championship so far. In the downhill, losing a pole and a glove, getting wrapped up in a gate, and it continues to be exciting for Durner, but not in the right way today. Ah, oh, darn it, that is such a bummer for Durner. Right in the transition there, looked like maybe she went inside just a little bit and goes out. So tough break for Amy. Yeah, the excitement in the downhill. She lost a pole and a glove, putting her hand through a gate. That is touchy, tough stuff in the downhill. Then yesterday in the Super G, she really put the hammer down, finished in 4th place, just skiing an aggressive, great run. Exciting to watch. And then going down today. So tough break there for Durner. So Ava Summers awaiting her turn from the Aspen Valley Ski and Snowboard Club. As we work to get that gate repaired. Been some must-see TV around here these days. All right, so that leaves it to Ava Summers. Getting ready to go in about 30 seconds. Ava races on the high school team there in Aspen, aptly named the Skiers. We're really jealous of Aspen here that their high school mascot, high school name is the Skiers. Here in Steamboat, we're the Sailors. But Ava's a skier, and she's a fast skier. Here she comes. Summers charging down the upper pitch through the flats, carrying good speed. Ava Summers onto the lower part of the course. Inslee Oberding has just left the starting gate.
I was calling Josh from right through. 5-0 will not finish. 5-0.
On a tough break, Kinsley down on the upper section of the course. We'll leave Isabel Calhoun Lopez. Next racer out of the start.
Start skipped an interval. 5-1 in the gate.
Let's go, Isabel. All right, Isabel Calhoun Lopez on course from Team Afton. Surprising number of skiers have had trouble up here on the top. These athletes are really charging. For some, there may be pressure here at this championship. For others, they see it as an opportunity to really push their limits and see what can happen. Sydney Cool has left the start. She's on the upper section of the course. Through the finishes, Calhoun Lopez. Here comes Sydney Cool. She had an amazing day yesterday, finishing second in the Super G. Little bobble there right at the top of the pitch, but that's an okay place to make a mistake because you can get the momentum back. Sydney Cool doing pretty well down here. Isabel Lopez through the finish with a 51.19. Cool really attacking down in this lower section. Emmy Riggs from Winter Park has left the starting gate. Here comes Sydney Cool through the finish. And Cool crosses the line with a time of 48.81. Emmy Riggs now onto the lower section. So nice to have the sun out. Good visibility for these racers.
Start copies.
As Emmy Riggs into her tuck now, approaching the finish. Go back to the top for Layla Martinez. From Ski and Snowboard Club Vale, Riggs with a time of 49.35. Layla Martinez, Ski and Snowboard Club Vale racer, keeping a light touch on the skis, running a bit of a low line, but because she's not pressuring the ski too hard, she's been able to manage it quite well. Layla Martinez through the finish. And Martinez with a time of 50.40. Now it's going to be Kate Hostetler's turn. The Granite Peak racer is on course. Good solid turns up here to get things started for Hostetler. Getting a little pushed low in the beach section. Iris Walter has just left the starting gate. Hostetler carving up some nice turns down in the lower part of the all-out pitch. And she's through the finish. Iris Walter on the upper section, now onto the lower section. Hostetler through with a 52.72. Getting pushed low right before the finish is Walter. But she makes it through.
Last race for 5-7.
Walter with a time of 49.74. Julia Finkston now on course from 4 degrees. The distinction of being the last racer in run number 1 means that you're the first racer in run number 2. Finkston will have a nice fresh course, so if she can put down a fast run here in run number 1, she'll really have the advantage on run number 2 with the clean tracks and smooth snow conditions. Right now the course is held up well. A little bit chattery, but overall in really good shape. There is some soft snow if you get pushed low and offline. But Finkston hanging in there, skiing strong. Julia Finkston from the 4 Degrees ski team. Making her way through the final few turns. The 4 Degrees ski team racer across the line. And Julia Finkston will wrap things up with a time of 53.34. So that wraps up run number 1 for the women. We'll be underway in just a little bit with the men's race. Schedule's delayed just a little bit, probably about 10 minutes. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with some men's ski racing here in just a moment.
The Winter Sports Club is amazing. It is multi-sports, and it's the only club in the entire country that has as many winter sports as we're able to provide.
I feel like when you ask our kids about their life in Steamboat, their first thing they'll say is, we grew up in the Winter Sports Club.
It's sort of like a second family for me.
The Winter Sports Club, I think, was my upbringing.
I think Halcyon and the Winter Sports Club is one of the best places in the world.
It was almost another parent to me. We spent every opportunity we had down at the Winter Sports Club and enjoyed every minute of it.
Coming here after school and being with your friends and your coaches, it's just an awesome experience.
Almost every huge lesson or experience or great moment that has changed them has happened through the Winter Sports Club.
You know, their notion of creating champions on and off the mountain really resonates with me, and I just think it's an incredible opportunity for the boys to be part of that.
There you go.
Every coach that I've ever worked with, you know, here at Winter Sports Club or see coaches on hill with these kids, from skiing to cross country to jumping to snowboarding coaches, every single one of them brings a large amount of passion and dedication to this sport.
And the culture that they become a part of, again, it changes them. And whether or not they're winning or whether or not they want to be an Olympian, they can be the best version of themselves.
We're so fortunate in this town to have so many amazing people help raise these kids.
There's something to be said about growing up in a competitive environment and having the mentors that the SSWSC provided. And you know, I certainly don't think that I would have grown up to be the person that I am today without their influence on my life.
It's so unique and so special. And having seen great places in the world, there's nothing like this.
Really, the Winter Sports Club is appropriate for all kids. Every single kid can benefit from the Winter Sports Club.
All right, we are back up and running. 4 runners for the men's race, getting ready to go.
You need the time, right? 10.
First chance to see this course set by David Baldinger from Buck Hill.
402 on course. We will wait for 402 to clear the finish before we send them on. Title 408.
10, 9, 0, 0, 5, 9, 4.
Braxton Hopke will be our first racer in this men's giant slalom. Braxton from Buck Hill. What an opportunity for him to run first on a course set by his coach, David Baldinger. And Braxton already's got some U16 Junior Championships hardware with the bronze medal finish in the downhill. Slip crew working on the low line for Braxton before he pushes out of the start. Course conditions have been excellent on the track. Good and solid. Exactly how you'd like it for racing. And here comes Braxton giving it his shot. Our first racer from Buck Hill is on course. Gonna have to stay connected up here. Tricky, the course set up on the top pitch. It's pretty tight onto the flat, so could catch some racers sleeping a little bit. The beach section, the flats, is not an easy spot.
9, 6, 6.
But Hopke skiing well. He's taking advantage of this good, clean course. Braxton Hopke from the Buck Hill ski team, setting the pace, and it might last for a while. Braxton Hopke with a time of 44.91. So Felix Hadley will be our next racer. Getting ready to go in the start is Felix.
1040. 59.
He's from the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club. He knows this hill well. The home training hill for the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club, the all-out race trail. These athletes train here after school. Hill's got lights for night skiing. So Felix is fired up and ready. Here he comes. Bib number 2, Felix Hadley from the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club is on course. Those turns up here suit Hadley well. A little mistake right before the breakover, but get your speed back quickly with an error before the pitch. An error coming off the pitch onto the flats is more costly than an error just before the pitch, where you can get that momentum back quickly. But Felix really running a low line, having some trouble down there. Lake Skidda now on course from the Great Lakes Ski Academy. Felix into second with a 45.81. About 9/10 back of our current leader, Braxton Hopke. Balti Sachs has just left the starting gate. Lake Skidda from Great Lakes approaching the finish. Balti Sachs now onto the lower pitch. Lake Skidda through into third with a 47.32. Balti Sachs from Ski and Snowboard Club Vale, dicing up the lower part of the course. This is good technical skiing from the Vale skier. Carter Houseman has just left the start gate. Here comes Balti Sachs into his tuck to the finish. Sachs has a time of 45.02, moving into second position, just 1/10 of a second back. Carter Houseman now from Osblick onto the lower part of the course. Ian DeCanio has just left the starting gate. Here comes Houseman running the low line down on the lower part of the pitch. This course has got some swing to it. Technical skiing in high demand as Houseman makes his way into his tuck and to the finish line. He's done a good job on the bottom part of the course. DeCanio now onto the lower pitch. Houseman with a 46.13. Jay Kernoyer has left the starting gate up top. Here comes DeCanio, carving some nice turns down to the bottom part of the course, tight to the poles. And DeCanio through, and trouble up above for Kernoyer. Kernoyer is out. He'll be a DNF up high. Team Summit's Ian DeCanio with a 46.78 into fifth position. Reed Pope will be our next racer from the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club. He's getting ready to go up in the start. Doing a little course cleanup, and now we're good. Reed from Madison Lake, Minnesota, in his first year with the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club. He's excited to take a crack at his new home hill here at these U16 Rocky Central Championships presented by David Baldinger, Steamboat Sotheby's International Realty. Here comes Reed. He's on course. Pope with some strong skiing up on the upper pitch. Now he's got to be smart right in this transition here. As we get onto the flat part, looks like he's done well. I like the line from Pope. Past the coaches. And onto the lower pitch. It's a good start so far for Reed Pope from the Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club. Just leaving the starting gate is Colin Kaneda. But down on the lower part, we're watching Reed Pope into his tuck through the final few gates. It's a good run for Pope as he crosses the line. Colin Kaneda onto the beach section. Pope into sixth with a 46.98. Kaneda, the racer from Team Summit. Onto the lower part of the course. Alexander Campion, his teammate, has just left the starting gate. But right now, Kaneda getting twisted up there in the middle part of the lower pitch. Trying to get that speed back now. Working that ski hard. And he reaches to the line. His teammate Alexander Campion on the upper part of the course. Looks like he's letting the skis run well. It's Campion. Kaneda into seventh with a 47.25. Campion now on the lower section. Really running direct. Not giving this course any respect. It's all or nothing for Alexander Campion as he makes his way towards the finish. He'll reach across, and the time for Campion puts him into third spot with a 45.63. A nice run for the Team Summit racer. Now it's Braxton Bojak's turn. Braxton from Ski and Snowboard Club Vail. Alex Miller from Granite Peak has just left the start, but right now it's Bojak approaching the finish. Trying to lay down a fast run. These guys had the earlier start position in run number 1. They're going to have a late start position in run number 2. All in some trouble up above for Miller. We see him skiing off course. It's a DNF for Miller. So Jeffrey Lindsay will be up next as Bojak crossed the finish. Good time for Bojak into 5th position with a 46.10. Here comes Jeffrey Lindsay from Pinnacle Racing Team. Jeffrey Lindsay off the upper pitch really flattens out in this section where Lindsay's at right now. Important to carry the momentum, not dig the edges in too hard through that beach section. Now it starts to get a little bit more technical again, although I commented before, I like the set on the flats. It is pretty technical in that flat section. Asa Sheppy has left the start up above as we watch Jeffrey Lindsay from Pinnacle Racing Team approach the finish in his tuck. Lindsay across the line. Asa Sheppy now on course up above. Lindsay with a 48.38 puts him into 11th position as Sheppy skis over the breakover onto the lower pitch. Jacob Humbert has left the starting gate. Here comes Team Gilboa's Asa Sheppy. Carving those turns down the mountain on the lower pitch, getting a little bit low, but keeping things together, keeping it on course. Asa Sheppy charging to the line, reaches across as Jacob Humbert makes his way on the upper section. Sheppy into 12th with a 48.97. Here comes Jacob Humbert pouring it down the hill from Team Afton. Being patient, and then he pressures that ski, bends it right back underneath. Some good tactics from Humbert. Is he letting those skis run, though? Here comes Jacob Humbert. It's good skiing up there as he crosses the line. We look for Pinnacle's Logan Brown behind him. There's Logan. Humbert with the time. 47.17 moves him into 9th position at the moment. Pinnacle Racing's Logan Brown on the lower section. Owen Applequist has just left the starting gate. We watch Logan Brown, the 2. Brown into his tuck, across. Owen Applequist on course right now. Onto the lower pitch comes Applequist. Brown with a time of 48.82. Now it's Owen Applequist. On that upper section. Good skiing from Owen. Steamboat Springs Winter Sports Club racer. He's doing a nice job running low, letting it run down towards the finish. I like it. Applequist really getting after it, and he's through the finish. Owen Applequist. Reef Sampson now on his tail. Applequist with a good time, skiing into 4th position with a 45.80. Reef Sampson now from Team Afton on course. Reef doing a nice job. The Team Afton racer approaches the finish. And Reef is across with a time of 49.33. Up next, it's going to be Adam Everson from Team Z, Mount Zion racer. Quick recap of our top 5. We've got Felix Hadley currently in 5th position. Owen Applequist currently in 4th. Alexander Campion in 3rd. Balti Sachs just behind our race leader, Brexton Hopke. That's our top 5 at the moment, as Adam Everson from Team Z gets ready to push out of the start. And Adam is on course. Adam out of Wakefield, Michigan. The Upper Peninsula over on the Wisconsin side, just across the border. As Everson now makes his way onto the lower pitch. Ivor Eisenman has left the starting gate as we watch Adam Everson approach the finish. The Mount Zion racer, he skied a good solid run, and then the commentators curse down.